Good evening. The time is 9:20. I felt like I had to take a break from the last video because I was getting a little too passionate. Not mad, but very passionate about my video. Now that I'm done with part 1, this is part 2 of the Heartbreak Kid series. The Heartbreak Kid stories. And part 2. Part 1, I talked about a girl named Shanda Show. You watch part 1, you know how the story goes. Part 2, I'm a little drained, but I'm gonna make sure I get it out. Part 2 continues. So, what I told you, it was unfortunate. It was for literally, this thing lasted a week. A week of the drama, and I was completely miserable. Like, I felt like shit that week hurt me. It hurt me. I have never been hurt, but I was. I was hurt. And I was really hurt. Now, you would think, why am I making part 2? Isn't it over? Now, you see, after the situation with Cheyenne, I was willing to let it all go. I moved on, they moved on with their lives, I moved on with mine. I never forgot about it. When I heard the name and I see her do her thing, I was always bitter about it. I was always mad, but I did nothing to her. I said nothing to her. She ended up going out with a guy that I wasn't best friends with, but we were acquainted. He was cool. A guy who was more friends with my brother as opposed to me for some strange reason. I did nothing of the sort. Ninth grade comes in, she goes to Forest High School. I go to Forest High School. But it still bothers me within a year of the situation. Everyone that knows her, everyone that loves, that's around her and that's friends with her, it bothers me. Because I've done nothing to her. But, they're friends with her, and it's like, alright, whatever, She ends up becoming homecoming princess for 9th grade, 10th grade, love you. She's going on with her thing, and I'm trying to go on with mine because I feel like, okay, whatever. Stay away from her. Her relationship with Eddie's growing and growing. Sorry, I didn't mean to mention your name, Eddie. I'm not saying your last name, but her relationship with this guy is growing and growing. Whatever. I'm just minding my business. Not trying to do anything because, she's soccer, softball, she's doing athlete, she's an honor student, her boyfriend's playing football, he's an honor student, like a power couple. Whatever the case is, I'm just avoiding the situation altogether because, I'm just trying to go on with my life. I go to regular ed class, I meet a woman of my own, everything. I'm just trying. 10th grade happens, and I'm only going to say one person's name in this situation. Nathan Renshaw. And I want that to click in everyone's head. Pay attention to that name. So, 10th grade happens. I get a gym class. The last day of my schedule's broken up into 4 classes each day. There's A day and B day. I go to 4 classes on A day and I go to 4 separate classes on B day. I have gym on the B day. So I go to gym, whatever. I'm chilling, and I meet a guy who's friends with my brother. Not saying his name. I meet a guy who's friends with my brother. And, you know, this guy, I didn't talk to him because I knew it was my friend's brother, but I didn't want to engage him because I don't want to be the weird guy that always latches on to my brother's friends. I want my own friends. I want to have my own friends for once. You know, either I'm friends with my brothers or my brother ended up taking my friends. I don't want to say taking, but they end up gravitating towards people I used to be friends with and end up gravitating towards him. So I just want to be on my own now. I'm tired. Like, I want my own friends. I want to be happy with my own friends. You know, so I meet this guy. He comes to me. He starts a conversation with me. We become friends. He introduced himself to me. And then later on he would realize I'm my brother. You know, I was brothers with his friend. You know, I'm his friend's brother. So everything seemed pretty cool. We thought everything was alright. I thought everything was alright as this situation was going. You know, I'm friends with this guy, and I'm friends with Nathan Renshaw. Nathan Renshaw's friendly with me at the locker room and having a good conversation. I'm thinking everything's all good. Then I realized Shan DiMaggio's in the gym class with me. That didn't sit well with me. But I wanted to let it go because I'm trying to move on. She'll tell you anything otherwise, but I'm trying to move on. I'm literally trying to forget about the past. I'm actually trying to forget about the past. I'm not trying to remember. As scarred as I am, I'm trying to forget about it, you know? Shan DiMaggio is a teacher's assistant to the coaches in gym. Which sucked. But over the time, for some strange reason, Cheyenne integrates herself into this group. So, while we're having fun, I'm at least just trying to get over it. I'm trying to, you know, like, we're friends. I'm even considering just forgiving her, not bringing it up, not talking to her, just being very cordial throughout the whole situation. Within the end of December, before the second 9 weeks come, and the beginning, I've noticed my brother's friend and Nathan becoming very moody towards me, and it bothered me. Other guys in their group were indifferent to the situation, and I give them all the credit for such, but Nathan and my brother's friend was different, and it bothered me. Because I don't know what I did. I don't know what I did wrong. I don't know what I did wrong. I honestly don't know what I did wrong. I really don't know what I did wrong. Because I said nothing to... Even Cheyenne started... At first Cheyenne was being cordial. We were being respectful. But now she's being cold to me. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, what did I do wrong here? You know, why is everyone... Well, is Cheyenne doing something? All I remember was one day I'm playing softball with, you know, we're doing softball with one of the coaches. Cheyenne's with Michael. They're clowning me. And, sorry, I said his name, but I'm trying not to. Cheyenne, you know, Cheyenne says my brother's friend name, and my brother's friend shouts out, "Jhamil, you stalk women." I ain't never felt so hurt in my life, and I don't care what anyone tells me. You know, my brother can tell me he was just... No, it was painful, because that was not my intention. that year in 8th grade year, that was not my intention. It came off that way, but it was not my intention. I'm sorry, you know? But that hurt me, and I knew right then and there what I was going to be treated, how I was going to be treated that year. So, as everything gets deeper and further, I go back to school for winter break. We're in the gym because we do our exams, everything. Nathan, you know, I'm at the bleachers. I'm hanging out with some dudes. A little bit of a different crowd because I've noticed everyone's been drifting away from me. You know, Nathan's been so harsh to me. Like, he would say, you know, oh, why don't you go back to Africa? And I'm thinking about, now when my brother's friend make jokes like that, obviously my brother tells me they go into ranking matches. So I never took it personally. But Nathan was a different story. That was a different story. Nathan would tell me you go back to Africa. First and foremost, I'm Haitian. And second off, you know, it's weird because I don't know what I did wrong. Because his tone was so aggressive and, like, defensive. And I'm like, what did I do wrong? Like, I feel like I'm being attacked for no reason. I'm being attacked for drawing. I'm asking questions, studying science. And next, you know, I'm being teased about, you know, what am I studying and art. You know, I draw a lot of comics. I was hugely involved in comic books back then. You know, thanks to my buddies, my group, my best friends. You know, we have a Facebook page, you know, about comics and anime and video games. Like, just like them, I was into comic books, mainly the X-Men. I was into comic books, manga. I was really getting into this stuff. You know, and I used to draw, trace, whatever, and they'd make fun of me for drawing artists. And I'm just like, what's going on? I'm thinking in my head, what's going on? Why am I being treated this way? So going back to, you know, staying in the gym, Shan calls over my brother's friend. And there is a no. There's a note that I wrote. I wasn't sure, but there was a note that I felt like I wrote because I recognized the drawing of the heart. Anyway, you know the funny thing about this? I watched the show from Law and Order where they say, you know, I know who did it. This is guy, and she's like, how do you know what he looks like if he was this? If he since he's this age? And the woman's like, you don't forget a face of a monster. I recognize Face of Darkness anywhere, and I knew. I made that note. It was a heart. My sloppy. It was crumb. I knew what I was doing that day. I knew what I wrote and everything. And I felt hurt. I literally felt hurt. And I'm saying to myself, as Cheyenne is showing my brother's friend, Nathan, and all these other people, this note, with the exception of a few people, what was going through my head is, why? Or like that guy from the church video, they made like a montage of him. He's like, why? You know, it goes to my head, and I don't get it. You know, I don't get it. I don't know what I did to deserve this. Why would you keep a note that I wrote that you clearly don't have feelings? If you clearly weren't thinking about me like that, why would you? Were you really? I don't know. I'm not. Far be it from me to say you had an agenda for me, but I had a feeling you were trying to embarrass. I had a feeling she was doing this all for a long time to embarrass me, and I built up a reputation that sure I brought upon myself. I'll agree on. But why are you just egging this on? I'm trying to move on, and you're keeping this going. You don't know how painful that is. And that hurt. Because, and you think with that, I was so heartbroken. And I'm glad I got out of that gym class and got transferred to another, elective. Not because of that, but, I pretty much registered to do this. But still, I look at this, and I look at it, and I say to myself, why? Just why? What could I have possibly done for you to do this to me? What could I possibly done for you to do this to me? That is painful. I am hurt by this. And it doesn't stop there, Meanwhile, my 11th grade year, I'm minding my business. Again, I'm just minding my business. I'm talking to a girl. I befriend a girl. I'm not going to say her name. And her boyfriend at the time Nathan Renshaw comes at me like, you want to fuck my girl. I'm saying, why are you like this? We have been friends for a while. What happened? And it's like, because Cheyenne showed me. And I said to myself, you really let her do this to you, didn't you? I've done nothing to you. Once I was confirmed, I knew what I was going to, and this is what's painful, and this is what hurt me. 11th grade was the best year I've ever had in high school. But, no. Actually, no. 9th grade was. But it was the second best year. But still, I still enjoyed the year, but still, it was the fact that Cheyenne, this woman, couldn't leave me alone. I'm trying to tell people about what's going on. I thought I could run to, and they run to Lawrence about me. Sorry, my brother's name. Like, I'm the one in pain here. I'm the one getting screwed over here. And I'm not gonna say my brother did it. No. Actually, I'm sorry, Lawrence. I'm gonna have to say this, and we can have a conversation about it if it bothers you. If you can give me your side of the story, but I'm gonna have to come out and say this, and I'm gonna have a conversation about you too. But I feel like my brother failed at trying to. I know he had the best intentions, but he got an F for effort. Because I felt like he didn't have to. The thing is, sure, he could easily defend me. But what? He can't sit me down with these people? He can't tell me what I've been through? He can't tell these girls what I go through? He can't do that? He's not, like, could he at least understand I'm getting hurt? Like, you can easily say I asked for it, but I'm not getting the proper help, You could say, oh, I can teach you, but, I learned in a way that you couldn't teach me. There are things that you told me I should do that I did not agree with, I did not like, and I refused to do because I learned how to do it in other ways. Sure, there's areas I could learn from, but it's the fact that I was hurt by Cheyenne DiMaggio, and the least you could have done was sat us down. I felt like if you did this, this would have been taken care of at least a lot sooner than it should be. But it hurt because my brother really screwed me over. My brother really, really, really screwed me over. And it's weird because one of my friends called me and say, oh, what's going on? You're mad. And it's like, I'm not mad at anything. Some of these videos, some of these things are done out of therapy and reflection. And if you think I'm mad, can you blame me? I've literally told people what I'm going through. the stuff that I'm going through. And I'm not here to play the victim card, and I'm sorry if it looks like that. But I'm at least telling you what I'm going through, so could you at least understand and try to understand? You don't have to feel sorry for me, but the least I am asking you is to understand where I'm coming from and how I feel about a lot of things. And I feel like a lot of my friends and family fail to do that because they're so busy on me looking like the aggressor that they don't at least try to help me out and understand the situation I'm going through. 11th grade, my brother's friends were so hell-bent on making me look like the evil villain, people that I have class with and are in the same grade with, by the way, rather than at least understand or spend a day in my shoes. Some of these people I look at very differently because it's a shame. It felt like I was being ran, like none of these girls came to me. They went straight to my brother, but they never came to me. Cheyenne especially. Nobody had the balls and the busts to come to me and tell me what their problem is to my face. No one told me. No one's ever come to me. From the Cheyenne DiMaggio situation to the situation involving a lot of other girls to the Tina Marie Gallo situation. Sorry, didn't mean to say your name. That's another story for another time. To all that, okay, maybe the Tina Marie situation, that was my fault. But everything else, everyone should have came to me. Come to me. Have a talk. Understand. But no one did. And the Cheyenne DiMaggio situation was that badly traumatizing on my end. Because this girl's going about her way, enjoying herself, and doing her thing. And meanwhile, I'm suffering. And I'm being laughed at. It was so bad, and I'm going to be open about it. It was so bad that I paid for the tickets, or my mom paid for the graduation tickets. She was top of my class. It was so bad that I even went out to a lot of people and I said, if this girl is the valedictorian, if she's the valedictorian, thank God she was the salutatorian. But if she was the valedictorian, I would have not gone. I would have refused to go to. I would not go to my graduation. I would, if the principal at the time said that if I missed my graduation, I would have to get it weeks. I would have to get my diploma weeks after. I would have been glad to do it, because I would have not cared. I would have gotten my diploma very late, and I would have been happy doing it, because in my honest opinion, I did not. And I repeat, I did not want any part of being in the same room with the valedictorian. If she was the valedictorian, I didn't want to hear her talk. I didn't want to hear her brag about being number one. I didn't want to do nothing. I was already disrespectful towards her salutatorian speech, and a lot of people noticed that. But I feel bad, talking through her speech and shit-talking her speech. I didn't care if I wouldn't go get my diploma then either. I just didn't care. I didn't care, I don't care if I was going to cost, I don't care how disrespectful it was. But if she was going to be number one, I was not showing up. Yeah, it would have been on my record, but I didn't want to be in the same room with her. I was that petty at the time. My mom, my brother could beat my ass. I wouldn't have gone. That's how my brother would have threatened to beat my ass and force me to go. My mom would yell at me. My uncle and aunt would yell at me. I wouldn't have gone. I'm sorry. Ain't nobody gonna talk to her for me. So why should I give y'all the right to go with someone who doesn't want to go? So go with someone who's gonna be the top of my class. That's how much hatred I had. I literally had hatred for this woman. Because I was scared. No, she's not responsible for a lot of things. But because of that, I was just scared. I had no confidence. I looked at every woman differently before 2014. For the past 7 years, I looked at every woman differently. Like, I looked at them scared to ask. I was scared to ask a lot of people out, to ask women out. It didn't take me till 2013 when I actually started going out to not be afraid of rejection. Because if one thing Cheyenne DiMaggio taught me was, at least I can handle rejection. Because I know, if a girl tells me I'm not her type, I move on. If a girl tells me this, that, I can move on. I know how to move on. If you can be honest with me, I will move on. I wasn't afraid to do that. You know, for years, I was disrespectful to her. I spat on her name every time I heard her. If you say Cheyenne DiMaggio, it was like taboo to me. I had to spit because that name made me sick, and it was disrespect. I wanted to disrespect this girl so bad. This girl hurt me, and this girl deserved to be shitted on. Well, the real question was, how do I get over her? So, I talked to a coworker of my old Dunkin' Donuts job. I talked to her and I told her the story. And this person told me, that she went through the same shit in her 8th grade year. And she said the best thing is to go up to the people who violated you. You don't have to curse them out. You don't have to be mad. You don't have to be angry. You don't have to say anything, but you have to be honest with them and let them know how you feel. You have to forgive them, but you have to let them know how you feel. Because forgiveness is not just for them. Forgiveness is for yourself. You don't have to be friends with them afterwards, but you have to let go because this thing will hurt you. So, somewhere around 2014, I went to her Facebook page. And I told her how I felt. I told her that you made me feel. I told her that I said, thank you. I did not appreciate what you've done for 3 years and 2 years. I've tried to make you feel like a beautiful woman, but in turn, you ended up being very ugly. But I forgive you. And I hope you know that. Not word for word, but that's verbatim. Shan read the note. And I went to Nathan Renshaw and I confronted him about the whole thing. I'm going to have to go to Miss Heidi, and I have to go to, my brother's friend, and I have to at least call my brother on it. I don't have to call my brother on a lot of stuff. But I have to call, other people, Zachary Fedorov, Raphael. I have to tell people that I have to start going on this thing. I have to let them know. Because although Cheyenne and Nathan were a huge part, there's other people that kind of triggered me that I have to tell. Cheyenne read the note, and it was good enough for me that she read it. Because it just lets me know you said what you had to say. She wasn't going to apologize, and I wasn't expecting an apology. But she gonna read it, and she did. Nathan read it, messaged me back and was like, why are you telling me this? I don't really care. And it's like, I wanted you to know. I'm like, as long as you read it, that's all that mattered. And he messaged me the next day and said, Why are you telling me this, by the way? I don't know these people. I wanted you to tell me that. You acted like you didn't care, but I had to tell Nathan Renshaw what was the point. And as for Cheyenne DiMaggio, and I'm looking in the camera right now at you. I forgive you. I absolutely forgive you for what you've done. Because it's the past, and there's other reasons I'm not going to try to dissect because I don't know you personally like you told me back in 2006. But I will say this. Sooner or later, what you did to me 11 years ago will catch up to you. And I want you to know that. It will catch up to you. I'm not wishing karma. I'm not wishing bad luck. I'm not wishing ill will. But I know you will think about it. And I know you've thought about it at least once. You thought about it enough to keep the note for a while, for 2 years after I asked you out. So you will think about it. But what do I know, right? Bottom line, point blank period. What's done is done. You know? I'm over the situation. I'm kind of tired of talking about it now because I said I got it out my chest, you know? But and I might have to go over it with a certain individual who I might be seeing, but after this, I kind of want to put this to bed because I had to get myself ready to do this video, and I was tired of talking about what was going on. That I want to put it in past. What's done is done, and it's a part of history books. If I could change anything from what happened back then, I would not have Cheyenne DiMaggio out because I learned a lesson that day. Do not ask a girl out depending on how they look. Sometimes what could look so beautiful on the inside can be so hideous on the outside. People don't even know Shallow Hal was a very, very powerful movie. Maybe not so much Jack Black or Jason Alexander. And yes, Jason, I know that little hairpiece you wore in that movie. But they learned a valuable lesson as far as, you know, what was going on. And I learned a valuable lesson about, you know, asking a girl out based on how she looks. I'll always be physically attracted to someone, but I know personality will keep it. However, if I could take back if I could take back, you know, if I could take it all back, I would have forced Raphael and Zach not to give the note to Cheyenne DiMaggio. Because I feel like that was not necessary. I didn't want revenge, and I knew what was coming from it. As much as I didn't like being cursed out, it just makes me look crazy. You know, I will agree with Charlemagne. When a girl cusses you out and says, you know, rejects you, you don't want to curse her out back and be violent, because you're giving her a reason why now, you know, she's like, well, see, that's why I rejected you. You know, the better choice is to swallow your pride, and that's what I wanted to do. But everything happens for a reason. For 8th grade, if I could change something, what I could have done was I could have went to my brother's friends. I could have went to Nathan. I could have went to Cheyenne. I could have went up there and I said, what are y'all reading? What are y'all laughing about? Maybe it wouldn't look good. It would make me look crazy. But I'd have to stand up to myself. Knowing what I've known, I would have told myself, so what? You're the one keeping a note for 2 years. How does that make you feel? I don't even have your rejection letter, but you have a note that I sent you. What does that say about you? And the person you are. But that didn't happen either. But hey, like I said, everything happens for a reason. And as much as it hurt, I thought that was the worst thing that happened. But after I forgave Cheyenne, worse things started happening after of the year of 2014, which kind of changed. But we'll go down that story for another time. So, that being said, I hope you guys enjoy the Heartbreak Kid stories. There's more where that came from. I guarantee you. And with that being said, I bid you all a wonderful, wonderful good night.